one of the most dangerous islands in the world. Snake Island lies off the coast of Brazil, where thousands of venomous snakes live. This is the golden lancehead pit viper, the most venomous species in the world. And this is the king cobra. Just one bite from it, you will die. There are no hotels, no hospitals to save you in time if bitten. For hundreds of years, civilians and tourists have been banned from coming close. Only scientists and the Navy with special permits are allowed to enter the island. So, what is hidden on this deadly island? After finishing a 12-hour flight to Sao Paulo City, the journey continued by car heading towards the coastal town of Peruíbe. From here, it took nearly 2 hours by boat southeast to reach Snake Island. The sea around the island is full of reefs. Just one small mistake and the boat could be shattered. From afar, the dense green of the island appeared haunting. I felt both excited and anxious, not knowing what awaited ahead. You must be extremely cautious, because snakes can appear at any time. Shin guards were carefully prepared, like a shield against deadly venom. Gloves were mandatory when entering this dangerous area. Here, any negligence could cost a life. Setting foot on this deadly island, you must accept one fact. You have only 90 minutes to survive if bitten. Rescue helicopters are always on standby, but this hope is tiny amid a forest full of peril. The island covers 430,000 m², equivalent to 106 acres. Can you imagine? On every square meter of land here, a venomous snake could be lurking. This is the only place with 4 Zozen golden lancehead pit vipers. This species is unique to Snake Island, found nowhere else. Molecular biologist Brian Fry once said in the 60 Minutes program, "With this snake, it will be an extremely painful death. You will die screaming. Unless assigned to repair the lonely lighthouse here, there's no reason to come to Snake Island at all. But if you accidentally drift there, what must you do to survive?" Because the golden lancehead pit viper here evolved naturally, its venom is 5 times stronger than its mainland relatives. This species has a golden color and a head shaped like a weapon of war. Its venom causes severe complications including kidney failure, brain hemorrhage, and intestinal bleeding. It can also cause tissue necrosis. You would feel like your skin is melting away. To prevent complications when bitten, rings, watches, and bracelets must be removed, because if your hands swell, they will be hard to take off. If you have an EpiPen, use it to deal with anaphylactic symptoms like swelling of the face, mouth or throat, hives, or difficulty breathing. The only way to increase the chance of survival is timely medical treatment. The golden lancehead pit viper was already dangerous, but the process that made it especially dangerous began about 11,000 years ago, when sea levels rose and separated Snake Island from the mainland. Could isolation have provided perfect conditions for its ancestors to evolve into one of the deadliest snakes in the world? According to Smithsonian, this snake has no natural predators on land. Without control by natural enemies, they could evolve into increasingly venomous generations. At the same time, with no prey on the ground, they had to climb trees and kill migratory birds to survive. Using venom to hunt birds wasn't effective, because birds would fly away and die elsewhere, leaving the snake unable to use the prey. That made venom useless. Therefore, this snake evolved venom that paralyzes prey instantly. When the bird hears the hiss, it's already too late. They mimic worms by shaking their heads and flicking their tongues, luring birds in and striking quickly. Thousands of years later, Visitors to Snake Island may witness this evolutionary result firsthand, if they don't die instantly from a bite. Fascinating, isn't it? This golden lancehead pit viper is also the culprit behind more than 90% of snakebite deaths in Brazil. The sound of leaves rustling in the wind, or any movement in the grass, is enough to make one's heart tighten. Unbelievably, this venom is saving millions of lives. Scientists consider it highly valuable, producing anti-venom that saves countless lives. That thought partly eased the fear, because every step in this journey could bring hope for humanity. Venom greatly benefits medicine, used to develop treatments for high blood pressure, and according to Smithsonian, may also be applied to treat cardiovascular disease, blood clots, and circulation problems. That doesn't mean if you have high blood pressure, you should go to Snake Island and get bitten. Drugs from potent toxins must be extracted and refined in laboratories to be effective. On the island, no large animals remain. Humans abandoned the place a century ago, leaving it to the snakes, which nearly wiped out all other creatures. Once, a family kept the lighthouse, but on a fateful night, snakes slithered through the windows and took their lives in their sleep. That story still haunts, making the island a deadly land, with only the abandoned lighthouse left amid the sea. Even so, scientists persist in coming to study. Despite the island's danger, wildlife smugglers, also called biopirates, often come to catch and sell snakes. Each golden lancehead pit viper costs about $10,000 to $30,000 on the black market. And because this is the only place they exist, they have been listed as endangered in the red list of the International Union for Conservation of Nature, IUCN. In fact, in the past 15 years, their numbers have decreased by about 50%, partly due to poaching, partly due to disease and habitat degradation, faced with threats from both nature and poaching. Since 1985, the Brazilian government has sealed off the entire island, allowing only scientists to enter. The scenery of the island appears strangely beautiful, like a paradox: lush greenery, clear skies, sparkling sea under the sun, but inside hides countless dangers. Butterflies flutter in sight, adding to the dreamy scene. Yet going deeper into the forest, each branch resembles a coiled snake, making anyone feel watched by thousands of sinister eyes. The thought that at any moment a snake could drop from above, striking with deadly fangs, made every step heavier than ever. There have been cases of fishermen drifting onto the island, but they chose to stay on the beach and wait for rescue, rather than dare to step into the forest. Snake Island is also home to another snake species, called the Snail-Eater Snake. Lucky for the snail population, a 2005 study concluded that the Snail-Eater Snake on the island is basically the same as on the mainland, without any horrific evolutionary changes to produce lethal venom. And the Snail-Eater Snake is non-venomous, thus almost harmless to humans. Besides venomous snakes, the jungle also hides silent giants, blood pythons. They are non-venomous, but they terrify with their large bodies and crushing strength. Blood pythons can grow 5 to 6 meters long, 16 to 20 feet, weigh over 20-25 kilo, and with one squeeze, crush their prey's bones. Unlike venomous snakes that strike quickly, blood pythons usually ambush quietly, then constrict until the prey suffocates. The island also has giant insects that terrify, from green grasshoppers with dark wings to huge cockroaches resembling prehistoric creatures. At night, they crawl all over the ground, making eerie cracking sounds. This place is horrifying. There's a reason no one is allowed here. because the venom of the Black Cobra can shut down the nervous system and paralyze victims, leading to 100% death without timely anti-venom. So it's hard to imagine anything worse, except that Black Cobra venom doesn't melt your organs like the golden Lancehead pit viper. But in terms of lethality, it's the same. But the real nightmare begins when deciding to go deeper into the jungle. With steep slopes and sweltering heat pouring sweat like rain, thick gloves made every move harder, but they were an indispensable shield. In a place full of death, every piece of fabric meant protection between life and death. The journey of exploring this land had no human presence, nor any indigenous culture. Instead, every snake was the heartbeat of life, and the deadly jungle was the horrific culture that had ruled here for centuries. The oppressive heat covered the space. The feeling of being trapped made the mind even more tense, because this was a place almost impossible to set foot in, completely cut off from the outside world. Right in front of me, I saw a freshly shed snakeskin still wet. Was it hiding nearby? This fact made the air heavier, every step needing even more caution. Going deeper, all eyes looked ahead, toward the ultimate goal, the legendary Lighthouse. Suddenly, the structure appeared towering right in the path. The faded white tower stood silently in desolation, like a witness to tragedies of the past. That lighthouse was once a home, once a guiding light for ships, but now only a cold shell, abandoned to moss and time. Brazilian Navy soldiers always followed closely. They guarded as a reminder that any intrusion without scientific purpose would come at a cost. The heavy silence was again broken by unexpected situations. A giant ant nest suddenly blocked the way, swarms of aggressive insects attacking. Such tiny creatures unexpectedly became a fear far greater than imagined. The tension kept building. It seemed as though signs of deadly snakes were everywhere. Each heartbeat pounded faster as the thought repeated in my head. And then, finally, the awaited moment came. Right at ground level, among dry leaves, the shape of a golden snake silently slithered out. Just a few steps away, that face-to-face moment paralyzed my whole body. Fangs gleamed under the sun, reminding that any slip would cost a life. The snake's cold eyes followed every move. Catching it was like playing with death. Just one mistake, and the fangs could pierce the flesh. After tense moments, the snake was subdued and placed safely in a special box. Each snake successfully collected meant hundreds of lives out there had a chance to be saved. The excitement hadn't yet faded when another snake appeared. This time, it was alert and aggressive. Finally, after several minutes of struggle, the second snake was subdued, marking another milestone in the journey. Surprisingly, catching snakes was hard enough, but venom had to be extracted on the spot. Then they had to be released back into the wild. Venom extraction required absolute precision to both collect samples for medicine and ensure safety for both human and snake. Microchipping was quickly done afterward. A tiny device was implanted under the snake's skin, causing almost no pain, to track their journey and changes for years to come. The image of the snake coiling, released back into nature, was both eerie and miraculous. For the presence of this creature, though a nightmare for humans, brings valuable scientific research. One of the veteran scientists on the island revealed she had spent over 2 decades in biological research and set foot on Snake Island more than 15 times. She believed the place wasn't as scary as people think, even safer than wandering the crowded streets of Sao Paulo. To her, this forbidden island wasn't hell, but an invaluable scientific treasure. As the sun slowly set, small tents were hastily set up, but no one believed in their safety, because in that mysterious darkness, any crack could become a pathway for venomous snakes. Gloves, protective boots, even thick layers of fabric remained on when lying down, as a desperate attempt to block dangers creeping into sleep. Would you dare to stay one night on this deadly island? The atmosphere around dinner eased slightly. A little food brought along became a feast on the deserted island. The hot ravioli in my mouth surprisingly more delicious than city meals. That joy mingled with the constant fear. Who knew if a snake above in the darkness was silently watching? The sounds of insects, rustling leaves, all blended into a chilling symphony, making every glance tense. The tired body after a long day still trembled with the feeling of thousands of hidden eyes around the tents. Unable to sleep, just one small noise was enough to make hearts skip a beat. In that chaos, any strange object resembling a snake made everyone scatter in panic, showing the deep obsession the island planted in human minds. Dawn came with relief. No one was bitten overnight, and that was a miracle. The sun rose. Light pierced through the thick canopy, shining across the camp, bringing rare peace, a feeling of exhaustion mixed with gratitude for surviving. The journey ended, but its echoes lingered. Snake Island is not only a forbidden land, where the boundary between life and death is thinner than ever, but also a symbol of the harshness and magnificence of nature. Amid the obsession called venomous snakes, one realizes even more the value of knowledge. Gratitude overflowed not only for this special experience, but also for the scientists who silently accepted danger, risking their own safety to research, collect venom, implant microchips, and release snakes back to nature. They are the bridge between humans and the wild world, proof that knowledge and courage can turn fear into hope.